Hello and welcome back to the Smartbuild implementation series. We're in part 21. We're doing a review of the drawings in a project similar to the one I've got here in front of us today. Just looking at how can we get a really quick and easy post layout or maybe a wall layout, things like that. So when you're first setting up Smartbuild, you're going to see, you go to settings and you go to outputs. We have a long list of templates that we've set up beforehand so that you don't have to set all these up out of the box. So out of the box, you get a long list of drawings, and part of this discussion here today is going to be just looking at what we have, maybe cleaning them up, changing them a bit, and making them more to what you need. So I'm going to skip over the first two here on the list just for a second. We're going to look at the post layout first. So with this post layout, if you double click on it, it will open up the edit menu of this layout. And again, you can rename it, call it whatever you want, but it's using this type, and the type is set to post layout. So that's a certain hard-coded output that we have set up. Now this type, the output type, could be either or. You could get a DXF file, and then another option would be to add a new one of PDF and then one of a DXF. So if you need a DXF format, you can turn off walk door swings. Currently, we're not showing swings going both ways, so you may just get a generic right hand swing or left hand swing, and you can't really control that at this point. It is something we plan to improve upon. So walk door swings is just there to give you to show that there's a door there. It doesn't really say which way that door is swinging. The overall dimensions, you can turn that on or off. And I've got this one turned on. And if you look at the drawing set, that basically just says you get to 30 feet. Like this example here is 30 feet overall, 30 feet overall. And then the cross corner dimension is also determined by, when we go back to these drawings here, overall and diagonal dimensions are set to, you can set them to outside of post or outside of framing, whichever works for your builders or your use case. Now, if you need one for both, you could label it outside of post and have it set up both ways. So you could set up both. Now, one thing question that comes up a lot is, well, this example here, again, I placed this door in this first bay, which caused some overlap on my dimensions. So as you use Smartbuild and do more complex projects, you're going to figure out with these drawing sets, they're not always perfect in terms of trying to figure out where the dimensions should be, and there may be some overlap. So how do we help that, or how do we avoid that and still be able to use this drawing set? And one thing I always direct people to something like Adobe or Fox, that there's several PDF editors out there where you can simply take our drawing set, and the example I'm using here is Adobe, and I just edit this PDF, and it lets me edit these dimensions. So I could drag these around and clean them up, or just retype whatever I need to here. So again, they are PDFs. They're really easy to edit. You can come in here and select dimensions and even delete dimensions that you don't want if you want to just clean it up a bit. So again, you can edit our drawing sets. You do have to have a version or a PDF editor that allows you to edit. So just really quick thing to note there. So back to the post layout drawings here. So this post layout, this is very, very commonly used output, and it can save you a ton of time instead of having to draw out your post layouts by hand or hire someone to do that. So that's the first one, and it's set up out of the box. You may want to turn on the walk door swings, things like that. So the next one to look at is elevations. And elevations in color, they're basically two different ones. In the elevations, when I look at the elevations, it could be either a wireframe image, or showing, in the wireframes just show the overall height. So we'll go ahead and download the elevation set. We'll take a look at the one we have just for this project here. And when you go into the settings of elevations, again, you're going to notice, we'll preview this one, then we'll jump over into the settings. So this elevations here is with color. So this one does not have any dimensions. So if we choose the version without color, we would get dimensions in the overall peak height. So if we go back into outputs and we look at these elevations and double click on it and edit it. So if you turn on saved images, that's going to give you what I just showed you. So if you turn off saved images, then that's where you get the wireframe, and you actually get the overall building height, which may be more beneficial if you're using it for permitting. So other layouts, so just like the post layout, you can add a new one that may be for stud framing. So if you go to add, again, it's not set up out of the box, but you can go in here, choose your type, You could find the stud layout, and you can name it whatever you want. And again, you could choose to show walk door swings and set the type. So that one's not on this list, but it's really easy to add, similar to post layout. And then the third layout that we have would be the wall layout, which is just another output. And this is it's more popular when you have a lot of interior walls. And again, I didn't have any interior walls in this project, but if you do a wall layout, generally you're going to get the wall thickness going around the building. So when we look at the post layout versus the wall layout, the difference would be here we're seeing all the columns, and with the wall layout, it would just be a 6-inch thick line going around showing where the walls are, or 4-inch depending on your wall thickness. So again, here's a wall sample wall layout here. So this is what you get versus the post layout. You still get all the door and window locations and all that, but it's not showing each individual column. So again, you can use those as needed. Other outputs that we have on this list, I'm canceling out of here, cross sections. And again, these can be edited. The only way you can really change the cross section though is the format of what you're getting. And if we look at an example cross section, just quickly here, go to outputs. And again, you can rename these if you want. Mine, I just left them at cross sections. So I download that. We'll take a look at our cross section that we're getting. If there's several wings or porches on this main building, you're going to get a cross section of each wall. So that's the thing that's important. That's what's really nice about Smartbuild. So each individual eave wall that you have, you're going to get a detail of it. So in this case, I just had 2 walls. So I got two cross sections, showing the details of that wall. It shows foundation details, things like that, post depth and all that. So again, if this wall framing would change to stud frame, it would show me a stud frame wall versus that. So again, that can be, you don't have to have a different cross section for stud frame versus post frame. The same cross section will work. And again, if you're using steel framing, the same applies. This would just be a steel member versus wood. So other outputs that we have here on this list, sheeting drawings and roof sheeting links. So both of these very similar. When it comes to the sheeting drawings, again, you can change them to DXF. And then the roof sheeting links, you can also change those to DXF. Now, with this sheeting parts, there is one more setting in here you can turn on. And again, this type is set to roof layout. To show sheeting parts, this is a really nice drawing set when you have several different wings in the project, maybe with a porch and valley sets, things like that, where if you download that, you can easily send this to the builder going out to the job site, and you're going to get a nice, all the locations of all the different lengths of roof metal being shipped. So again, that can be really helpful when you're trying to sort through a pile on a job site and figure out which piece goes where. In this case, I just have a 30 by 30 building here. And if you look at the sample drawing of it, again, it's very, very basic and straightforward, just showing me a 16-foot 11 lengths from the top. And it's all pretty standard. Now, if I had several different wings, that would be giving me them all on one drawing. Truss layouts, if you edit this one, you can see just a PDF. And that can be helpful if you are sending this to a truss supplier. And again, you may have several different wings, attached buildings, things like that, where if you look at this truss layout from the top, every truss will have a label. And I'm also going to show you another little tip that you can use to get a nice truss drawing if you decide that this one isn't descriptive enough or you can't see it well enough. So here's the drawing output for the trusses. You can see you've got your labels. You've got T1, and then your gables are the L1. So you've got the layout of the trusses. Now it's also really easy to go in the job and go into the drawings mode. And again, this applies to all of our drawings, though if you notice like a post layout, it is a little bit different. In here, it's a 3D drawing, but it's just showing to the center of the post. So if you compare that with our first post layout that we had up here, it's showing to the outside and then center. So this drawing is a lot nicer than what you actually see in a job when it comes to this drawing set here on the post layout. Now, other drawings like a truss layout, and I really like this one personally because if you tilt it up, you still got these labels there, but it speaks a lot more in terms of a 3D visual. So you could come in here and you could click print and screenshot this drawing set, what you're wanting to get. It's simply just clicking print and you get a drawing set that looks like this. So again, you can recreate all those drawings on the fly from this menu here. So if you just want to pull a certain, front wall and you want to see the drawing of that, you could come in here and click print, and you'd get this drawing set here. Now, again, we have all of those drawings. We have all of those drawings available from the output, so you could get these sheeting drawings as part of here. I'm just pointing out, if you just quickly want to get one screenshot of one page, you could do it while you're in the job. So continuing on, other drawing sets. In more detailed drawings will come later in another episode related to SketchUp, but we do have a SketchUp output here, which you could create drawings out of. So if you don't have the SketchUp output on your list, you can go to Add, and you can find the SketchUp and you can add it. If you're out of the box, though, you should see the SketchUp output if no one's deleted it. So it's the SKP file. And again, that's related to drawings. So the last drawing, or the output type, that I wanted to talk about as part of drawings is the boilerplate. And again, as you go through our drawings, you can see we're not doing detailed connection details, things like that, not detailed header schedules, things like that, where maybe you have to have a really detailed screenshot of the way a header or a bracing detail or whatever. And that's why we have these examples in here. And if you take a look at these examples we put in here, you can edit them, you can download them, and these are set up as a PDF boilerplate. So think of this as some drawing set that you want to use occasionally, but it's always the same. As in this case, if knee bracing applies to the job, you would simply turn on this drawing set and it would show up. Now, if we download this, you'll see it's just a really simple drawing of how knee bracing is fastened to the column. And again, it could be more detailed than this. Maybe it's your architect's bracing detail that they've sent you and you've saved it. You can simply come in here, take that PDF file or a Word document, whatever it is, and upload it into here as a PDF boilerplate. And when you do that, then when you're in a job and you want to include that in your drawing set, you can simply go to Outputs. So if you notice here, I have a knee bracing detail. And again, maybe I just need a knee bracing detail. I need an assembly drawing, and I need a cross section. Again, maybe that's all you need. If you check that on and click download, it will combine that into one file, and then you get that image that we just showed earlier. So this knee bracing detail. So again, that could be your own image there. So the last part that I did not cover, there's one other drawing set on here, and it's toward the bottom. Scroll down here a little bit. I think it's set up here. Maybe it's not set up in this account. So we do have another, and we call it our assembly drawings. So if yours isn't set up, you can easily set that up. But so you click Add, and you go to Type, and we have assembly drawings or combined assembly drawings. Now on these, the combined just means it's on one page. And so if you want to set that one up, you don't have it, you can turn it on. And here's what that looks like. So if you go to your assembly drawings, I'm going to check this one on and I'll download it. And again, this is where it's really nice on a per wall. Each page is one wall, and it shows you the material going into that wall. So if your builder wants to see, what framing's used where, he can use the assembly drawings to do that. And it's also related to your sheeting and all that, your placement. So I'm downloading this assembly drawing set here, and we'll take a look at this one now. So again, you get the purlin layouts. Each purlin layout, you get the wall framing detail. And the combined version that we're looking at here, it just means that the details are on this page showing the framing. If you don't choose the combined, you do get a little more detail, but your framing image would be on one picture, on one page, and then your list would be the next page. So this here is just a lot shorter output showing these into a few pages. So again, that's the assembly drawings, and you can set those up if you don't have them either. So really quick wrap up, that's just running through our drawing sets. Again, if you don't need all of those, you can delete some of them off the list. And some of them, again, as with all the outputs, when you're setting them up, if you want to hide them until a job is quoted, maybe you don't want your sales team to be able to access post layouts until they're quoted. Or maybe you just want to simply simplify this menu here so that until you make a job a quote, this post layout may not show up. Very, very easy to do that. You simply set that to be hide as a new job, and then it shows up when it's quoted. Or maybe it's the next step, it's hidden until it's ordered, whatever. You can set all these outputs up in that way. So again, hope this helps everyone. We have some very basic drawings you can set up, really simplify your process of getting permits from your local county, or even just getting these drawings, send them to an architect who can do the final drawings if it needs to be engineered. So again, Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.